Yo, my name is Big Lou, and you are now listening to Go Produce. We're the show that explores how music industry professionals turn their passions into profit. In this episode, we've got Saidat Abari-Vandenberg, a children's entertainer who uses music, dance, and drama to convey a message that one person can make a difference, and together we can change the world. The Go Produce focus of this episode is, what is the relationship between music, children, and mental health? If you're looking for some motivation for tips on how to get up and go, then this episode is for you. Thank you, Saidat, for being here. I want you to know that we do appreciate your time, so let's go ahead and make the most of it and go produce. Listeners, let me tell you who I've got here for you today. Saidat, she's the happiness infuser who empowers youth to succeed by boosting confidence, by fostering well-being, and by encouraging good physical and mental health. Saidat has performed in thousands of schools and communities across North America, reaching over 600,000 children. She celebrates diversity and inclusion through music, dance, and drama. Her mission is to build a culture of compassion, understanding, and acceptance. Saidat Abari-Vandenberg, welcome to the show.
Let's celebrate.
Awesome. And start with the first segment of the show, all right?
All right.
Pow. We've got the basics. Yes. I knew I could count on you to vibe with me. Saidat, what's your first musical memory?
Oh my goodness. My mother singing to me.
Oof.
You've got a friend.
Oof.
Yeah.
That sends
Every
tingles
night.
down the spine.
You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Every night.
Wow.
She would sing that to me.
That's what you would go to sleep to.
I'm not angry anymore. I'm crying right now.
You made the angry sound guy feel other emotions.
Oh, well, that's good. It's okay to feel feelings, right?
Yes, that's the truth. Wow, okay.
Okay, I'm grumpy again.
Back to standard, back to your normal. That's okay. It's only the beginning. We can change that again. Saidat, do you think that influenced your passion for music? Was that just like always in your brain and bleeding out of you, if you will?
Well, my mom loved to sing, and I believe, music brings people together. Like your family, they're always wanting to teach you lessons. And most of the time, I remembered what my mom talked about through stories and through music.
Yeah.
So if she's just sitting at the dinner table, just yelling at me about something I did, it was like, I just feel bad all the time. But when it was a song or a story, I was able to relate to it, and it didn't seem as I don't know how to really explain that, but I just felt like I'm a visual learner. So when you tell me a story, I can see it and I can see myself in it. And music moves me. So then when I'm moving, I don't feel as intimidated by a lesson.
Right.
And that was kind of like my attitude throughout my school life.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting in class was a struggle for me because I needed to move. But music class, drama, I would just thrive there.
That's where you found yourself. Yeah.
My language, right?
Yeah. And it's cool how it is definitely a language, and we're all communicating with each other through inherently body movements, if you will.
Yes.
Even speaking is a body movement. We're just projecting out loud. And a lot of the time we're not even listening to what people say. So that's kind of funny.
True.
But I also want to touch on, you said I wanted to see it. And there's two ways of seeing things. Obviously, one through your eyes, but humans actually have the ability to see things in their head, even with your eyes closed, and it's essentially their imagination. So if you can relate to something through a different medium, then why not explore that even further?
Yeah, well, we're creating worlds in our mind all the time, right?
That's the truth. Yep. What were you up to before your career in entertainment?
Well, let's see. I'm 48.
So young.
So I got a long story. No, I started as a youth pastor.
Okay.
And so I worked with youth in churches
Yep.
for a very long time. And then I realized that I didn't just want to be in like an institution where these are the set of rules and this is exactly what this is the only thing you're going to teach these young people.
Yeah.
Because I
It's
had
very rigid.
I had a very big message, right? And at the time and with my upbringing, I didn't realize that some of my beliefs and my mindset had been, in a sense, drilled into me since I was a child. This is the way we believe. This is the only way we believe. And I didn't question anything. And at that time, I mean, growing up in the 80s, right? You didn't question your parents,
Not even in the
right?
90s.
Not even in the 90s. So like you didn't question, you didn't talk back,
Mm,
and you didn't have anything to go on except what they're really telling you.
yeah.
And although I still hold on to some of those beliefs and that and those and the morals behind it, there were things that I didn't question until I was married with kids and realized, oh, I can question my sexuality. Didn't even think that way.
Yeah.
Oh, I can question um, religion. I can ask questions about
Yep.
these things.
And it's
And
never too late.
yeah, being in my mid-30s, like you're starting to realize that you can question life. That actually God gave you a brain to ask questions.
Yeah.
so it was a I feel like I grew up at around 37.
That's awesome. And
37, I'm like, oh wait, I'm an adult now. I can think for myself.
I got two things to say to that. Better late than never. And
Yeah, for
also, a lot
sure.
of people will say you really start living at 40. So,
I
I
I can
mean,
attest to that for sure.
there's a lot to that. Very cool.
Yeah.
Why why become a children's entertainer? And on
Oh
that,
yes.
why start with the Saidat show specifically
Well, I started, as I told you, I started in church, and
as a youth pastor?
I worked with young people
Yeah.
in that area. I've always wanted to work with kids, even in high school. My goal was to go to university to become a journalist, and I
Oh,
wanted to work my way up to having a children's talk show. And even in high school, I was voted most likely to host a talk show. So it's kind of funny. So I went to University of Minnesota for a while, and then I moved on to like a religious university. I graduated from there, and I was actually on my way to New York City to work with at-risk youth. And then I married a Canadian. So then I moved to Canada, and I was a youth pastor there. And I there was a church in Florida that we corresponded with, and I was able to get some training there. And they had something called Sidewalk Sunday School. And they would take like a milk truck and they convert it into like a stage, and they would travel throughout Tampa, Florida, and they would hold these like they called it Sidewalk Sunday School, but it was like a concert for kids. But not only would they have these fun shows for the kids, they would feed them, they would give them gifts, and it would just be like a really nice community outreach. And I loved it so much that we brought it back to Woodstock. And so the church I was working with, they actually used one of my songs as the theme for the Sidewalk Sunday School. And I love that so much, but I was just like, there's something more to this, right? And so that's when I approached the Thames Valley District School Board, and I said, I have this idea. I want to go into classrooms and talk to kids about pursuing their dreams. And I had to do like a little pilot for them, and they looked at each other and they're like, this is not a classroom discussion. This is an assembly. And they're like, but we really want you to talk about bullying. And so I didn't know how to talk about bullying, so I had to do a lot of studying about that. And then that's where I really received a heart to work with kids outside of the church. And after that, I realized, you know what? We all want to be loved. We all want to feel valued. We all want to feel accepted. And this is a message that I give all the time. And when you start putting religion on it, it just hinders who you can talk to, right? And so it's like, oh yeah, but you're telling me I can only believe this way. Well, then I didn't want that anymore. And then I was also asking myself questions. So I had a full upheaval of of my life, of religion and everything. So now when I think of my life and working with kids, it's like I am Saidat. I'm a spiritual being and I'm not connected to a religion. I believe that we are all connected in some way and we can learn from each other.
That's the truth.
So
Well,
when I approach children, it's like I'm here for you because I believe that you are a valuable person and I want you to love who you are as a person, not what I think about you, not what society thinks about you, not what religion says about you, but who you are.
as the
And when
individual.
and when you like yourself, you're going to show that through the way you approach people, the way you stand up for people, the way you affect change in the world. So,
Literally how you
so
carry yourself from day to day.
yeah,
I really don't think that you can truly love someone else if you don't love yourself. Like, how can you
that is
possibly
right.
know how to do that if you can't love yourself?
Well, you can fake it, and I did that for many years.
Yeah. But
Oh, yeah, I mean,
once you
like,
realize,
yeah, once you realize, like, do you love yourself? Well, yeah, but when I'm always comparing myself to everyone else, how much do I value who I am?
mhm,
If I'm always putting myself down and wallowing in regret for every mistake I make, I can't tell kids that, you're going to make mistakes, you're going to fail and it's okay, but I can't get over my mistakes.
yeah, it's true.
So so it's literally I had to do inner work before I could be confident enough to actually work with young people
Even though they're
in
young, they can see through that.
authentically. Yeah,
They
exactly.
can see through that. Like, you're
Yep.
telling me this, but you're not acting,
Yep.
or you're not carrying forward. So
Yep.
get out of here, imposter. So I applaud you for actually
Yep.
doing what you say. A lot of people don't do that.
And it's not that I've arrived. It's a journey,
Oh yeah,
right?
no.
So
We're
just when you
always
think
getting
you
there.
got it, like,
Yeah.
no, I don't.
Yeah, no. It's very true. And yes, you should mention that because people are like, yeah, I got there, but what is there?
Mm,
What is it that you have
exactly.
that are you done? Like,
Yep.
no, not really. What is your favorite way to connect with your audience? Is it song, dance, video, one-on-one? Do you have a preference?
Well, during this lockdown, I'm pivoting. So I'm learning that I can reach the heart of a child no matter where I am, if I'm in front of them physically
Yeah.
or if it's through a screen.
Yeah.
So I'm working on that. But I love working with children with music because they have so much energy as it is. And if you can take music that they love and lyrics that they really need to hear and combine that, teach them valuable lessons, I mean, they're unstoppable with that, right? So I
Yeah.
love going into a school and we set it up. We transform and like before COVID, I should say.
Yeah. Okay, fair.
Before COVID, we'd literally go into a gym and transform it. It didn't look like their gym. It's like a big pep
Wow.
rally with colors and lights and fun things like that.
Yeah.
And then they're told they're going to have an assembly, and you know how kids are. Oh, somebody's going to talk to us,
They're too cool
right?
for it.
Yeah. So they come in and there's a DJ and there's music and they're like, oh, okay. And then I start off with a dance right away. And it's like, hey, my name is Saidat. I'm so happy to be here. And then I start talking and then they go, oh, she tricked us. Here we go again.
Sneaky side at.
It's like, nope, let's play a game. So then we have our first icebreaker. And then that gets them involved. And I feel like kids learn a whole lot more when it's interactive.
Hmm.
People call it like authentic learning. They need hands on. Like if I'm telling them they need to be kind to each other, I need to show what kindness is. If
Yes.
and I feel like as a person of color, I'm the person showing them, you need to see people in leadership positions that are different races, different cultures, different ways of thinking. And
Yep.
so I don't want me as a Black presenter to be in your school as something special. This is normal. This is our world. Our world is different,
We're
right?
diverse.
And so
That's our
I
strength.
like I like talking about that. I just love like this is me and this is my hair. I have the receipt. And then so the teachers are laughing. The kids are like, huh? 5 minutes later, they're like, oh, got it.
Yeah.
And so I love just bringing them in. Like, this isn't my show. This is our show. And I'm just your role model right now, but you're going to take this message and you're going to make it work for your classroom and on the playground
That's
and
awesome.
within your student body. And so with music, dancing, games, and songs, some of my original songs, and then some songs that they know, we seem to be able to bring the school together. And by the end of the show, we have a dance party.
Yeah.
So I teach them a short hip hop routine, and then we just break out to a full dance party. It's a big surprise to them because we turn the lights off,
Yeah.
and then disco lights and all that stuff's flashing, and they're like, "What?" The teachers are shocked because you have kids that wouldn't dance and didn't even want to be in the assembly in the first place are now like breaking it down on the dance floor.
And
Teachers are like,
that changes their lives.
it does. It really does. And you can feel the energy in the school. The people are feeling better and they go back to class. They're pouring sweat, but they are
Doesn't
smiling.
matter. Yeah.
And it makes my life, like, every time I see that, it's just like, this is why I do this. And even if it was just for that moment that they felt good about who they were and they felt good being around people, I feel like mission accomplished because you're
Mhm.
going to search for that feeling again.
Mhm.
And you heard the message, and most of the time kids, you go, so what'd you learn today? We had a great time. We danced. What did you do today? We danced, but we talked about social and emotional intelligence, and we talked about, but they know how they felt.
Mhm.
And you
That
know what?
stays.
I can't remember the quote, but it's like they won't know how much you
Oh,
know. Ah, I'll have to look that one up.
angry sound guy, you good for anything? That's
I
jokes.
know, that was bad. I'll have to look for that one. But it's like it's how you make them feel. It's not about what you say, but it's how you make that person feel. And that's my mission no matter where I am, if I'm with children or adults. It's like, how did I make you feel? By the time we're finished with this conversation, did you feel intimidated? Did you feel uplifted? Did you feel like um I wasn't really there for you, it was insincere, or are you feeling like, hey, I got something out of that?
Yeah.
And so that's my goal with young people. If they feel good inside, they're going to help someone else feel good.
Yep. That was my next point.
So
It doesn't even matter how small your audience is. Say you have 100 kids in the room. They go home
yep,
and they bring that energy to just one more person. Already,
yep,
it's doubled,
yep,
and it's just an amazing effect.
yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Very cool, very cool, super awesome. Those are the not so basic questions. I hope you're feeling awesome because we are moving straight into the second round. Boom. Speed.
Bringing back my childhood.
Having some fun with it. You know we have to. All right. So, Saidat, in this round, I'm going to throw 20 simple questions at you, and you have to answer them with just one word. Simple
Oh
enough.
boy.
Do not try and justify them after we do have the opportunity to do so.
Okay.
Cool, cool, cool. Pick one: spring, summer, fall, or winter.
Fall.
Would you rather be a dragon or a unicorn?
Unicorn.
You're from Minneapolis, Minnesota, yes?
Yes.
Sweet or salty?
Salty.
What's the first thing that you can think of that's the color blue?
Sky.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Have you presented live to more than 600,000 students across Canada?
Yes.
Jeesh. Tea or
Yes.
coffee?
Tea.
TV show or movie?
TV show.
Your online show, which features several themed episodes, has an international audience with more than 3 million views across North America, Europe, and India?
Sure.
Yeah. Your astrological sign is Gemini.
Yes.
Dine in or delivery?
Dine in.
Would you rather have a rewind button or a pause button on your life? Apparently a rewind button.
Probably.
Money, money or fame?
Money.
Dang, dollars. If you find out who you are at a young age, you can avoid a lot of pitfalls. Yes.
Yes.
Domestic or international travel?
Domestic.
The inventor of the light bulb, Thomas Edison, was afraid of the dark.
False.
Does your birthday always happen on the same day?
Sure. Yes. No.
Would you rather hear the good news or the bad news first?
Hey, go back to that question. I was too busy laughing. I didn't even get it.
The whole purpose of the speed round is to go quick. That's awesome. Here we are. Does your birthday always happen on the same day?
No.
No. Would you rather hear the good news or the bad news first?
Good news.
Good news. Did you receive a Queen Elizabeth Jubilee Award?
Yes.
Yeah. That's 20 questions, Saidat. We made it through
I'm
this
sorry,
round.
it was so slow. What's the next question?
We got there. Super fun, super fun. I need to ask you if there's anything you want to clarify before I ask my clarification questions.
No.
No? Okay. I'm really curious about if you can find out at a young age who you are, you can avoid a lot of pitfalls. This is a quote that you've got, yes?
Yes, because you spend a lot of time comparing yourself to other people or trying to fit in. And then you get to an age where you don't want to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
But now you've spent so much time trying to fit into a box or to expectations that you've wasted so much time in life. So I feel like if you know who you are at the beginning and you have that confidence, you're not going to let that outside stimuli, like, navigate what you do with your life or your life's journey.
That's very true. I also think it's important for people to realize that you can be a person at 15 years old, and then at 20 years old, you become a different person. That's totally okay.
Yeah.
Just fully be you at all times, and a lot of good comes from that.
And enjoy the journey.
That's true. Because like we said, you're not getting anywhere. Like it's not there that we're going. It's every day that makes up our life.
True.
Yeah. Queen Elizabeth Jubilee Award. What happened there?
Our former city councilor, Harold Usher, has been like such an ally and an advocate for the community.
Yes.
And he believed in me when I first started my program in schools. And he was one of the people who nominated me for the Queen Jubilee Award. And so I was actually in shock. Like, I haven't really done much to receive such a prestigious award. But, he's like, no, Saidat, you don't know what you've done for this community and how much you show up for the past how many years. And I was just so honored to receive that.
That's very cool. Very cool. And I do personally know Harold as well. Very, very humble man. And he does mean well. So the fact that he saw that in you, whenever that was, and I mean, can you say he was wrong? Look at all that you've accomplished since. Right? That's awesome.
Yeah,
very, very
awesome.
Cool. Saidat, next up, we've got our third segment of the show. This segment is called Boom. What's your take?
Oh.
Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Yeah.
Yeah.
In this segment, I'm going to provide you with different quotes, statements, topics, and we want you to share only your opinion. Cuckoo?
Okay.
Let's do it. All songwriting follows a formula, even when it comes to children's music. What's your take?
I think everyone has their own formula for how they write music. And we are inspired by others, but we end up creating our own formula. And then we inspire someone else to create their own. So I believe there's a set pattern,
Mhm.
but we kind of deviate from that and create our own idea.
Okay.
Like I have to have music in order to write a song. And it is so frustrating to me because I've watched other songwriters say, "Hey, here's a song, and this is what we're gonna do with it." And I'm like, "No, I need the beat first,
Yeah.
and then I write with the beat. I can't just write on my own. I'll have like a chorus,
Yeah. Yeah, I like
but
that
I
process
need
too.
the rest of the music in order to be able to continue to write.
Yeah.
And I've tried my best to just like start from scratch. Can't do it. So
I'm not too sure how writers are able to do that, especially with more faster paced songs, because
yeah,
you have to pair the words with the emotion that the song itself is bringing. And
yeah,
if you don't have at least a sample or some kind of loop to build off of,
yeah.
it's quite challenging. Yeah, yeah. Do you have a different approach? Say, if you were to write a song for adults, would you approach it differently?
Probably not.
No, just
I mean,
write what you
I've tried.
feel.
I've written a song for Christina called "Angel," and I absolutely love that song.
Mhm.
Um, but I had the same approach. I had a friend who's a musician,
Yeah,
and he was like, "Hey, I have this track. You want to listen to it?" I'm like, "I love this," and then I wrote a song for it. So it was just, I don't know. I just never,
it's a feeling.
and yeah, it is.
I I understand that, and I'm sure that other creatives would understand that. You take that feeling and you put it into a form that other people can see it.
Yeah.
Both people of color and or people with varying sexual orientations face challenges in the music industry that aren't talked about as much as they should be. What's your take?
I believe Black, Indigenous, people of color in the music industry, I think we all have different experiences with it, but a lot of times we don't want to talk about the challenges because sometimes don't want to be accused of pulling the race card,
Yep. Yep.
when sometimes that's what it is, but you feel like, well, for me, example, um, I don't want to say that because then they say, oh, well, you just think that your lack of success or whatever you're going through is just because you're Black. So then you're just quiet about it. But in recent weeks, it's so nice and I feel more confident to say, hey, there have been times when, yeah, I felt that racism when it comes to being in this type of business.
Mhm.
Or when I started my career in schools and there were certain situations where I knew that was the reason why they didn't want to have me or the reason why I didn't get that particular job or grant or things like that. And so it's nice that there are people that are not like me that are a little more bold to say, hey, there is racism when it comes to blah 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 blah.
100%.
And then I can say, hey, yeah, that's right. So I can assess my own life and decide how I'm going to, move through that.
It's true. And like we mentioned earlier, when humans communicate with one another, only a very small percentage of that is actually verbal communication. So
Mm,
it is very, very possible to be racist through your body language. And
yeah.
a lot of the times, this may happen subconsciously, and these people might be like, oh, I'm not racist per se. I'm not overly aggressive towards you.
Yeah.
But I know that I'm not welcome here because of how you're sitting and all of that. So
Yeah.
that's a real thing, too.
Yeah, for
Do
sure.
you ever find yourself battling back from situations like that? Like you're openly being discriminated for whatever reason?
Um, I have the personality where I don't focus too much on the negative energy.
Hmm.
And it used to be my family used to criticize me about that. Like I wouldn't see, like, don't you see this? And I like, no, I kind of just see the people that like me, and then like really bad experiences, I seem to kind of put it behind me.
Mhm.
And then someone needs to remind me, remember that time when this happened? I'm like, oh, yeah. I feel like it's a gift for me because if I focus on things that have um, held me back or anything that I feel is traumatic,
Mhm.
I can dwell on it to the point where I lose the energy that I need for my calling,
It's
if
true.
that makes any sense.
And that's the
So
dilemma.
so when I know there are instances that this has happened and I could feel it and it was very apparent, but I can't like recall it where it's like, I'm gonna tell you about the time when
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I it's just I mean like Louis, you've seen me before and everybody's like, she's always smiling. And it's just really this is me.
Yeah,
My middle name is happiness, means happiness.
I read that actually.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it's like this if I focus on racism, if I focus on all the times, it just does something to me where some people, and I love that about them, that they're able to like fight back and they're able to let their voice be heard and push freedom and equality forward. I have this personality where it's like if I focus on it, it's just only going to be detrimental to me, to
And
my
to the people around
emotional
you,
health. Yeah.
because you're still
So
that positive light amongst the darkness that other
yeah.
people, like those people, may be relying on as well.
Yeah.
We can't do it all on ourselves. So the best
Right.
advice for an individual like you, obviously knowing who you are, would be to focus on the positive and move forward.
Yeah, but you also need to ask for help when you need it. Because I can say, "Oh, it doesn't bother me, it doesn't bother me," but then it is affecting me in some ways.
Yeah.
I don't the next time there's a contest, I don't go for it because I already know, well, the last time this happened,
Yep.
they didn't really like blah blah blah, so I'm not gonna go for this. I miss opportunities because I didn't speak out.
Yep.
So I may not be able to say it for myself completely, but I need to find those people that will help me,
And
right?
people want to help.
Yep.
People want to help.
Yep.
And something else that I want people to know is that it's not just one missed opportunity when that happens, because one turns into a second
Yep.
and it's a slippery slope after that. So
So true.
try and show up every day despite how tough it is.
Yep.
Are there messages you give to students to steer them away from ignorant behavior?
Oh yeah, you need to educate yourself, and like this is a great time to educate yourself on racial injustice. Kids need to have those messy conversations instead of just oh, I'm not racist or I don't see color. Like, we need to celebrate our colors. We need to celebrate each other. I talked about how parents try to steer their little kids away from asking about the people that they see in the community. I show up at a grocery store and there's a little white toddler with their parent. And you watch their eyes get really big and their mouth open, and you know what's about to come out of their mouth. Mom, Dad, why is this person? Well, the parent is usually really nervous and they just swoop the child up in their arms and move to the next part of the store. And it's actually like you're actually teaching them to ask that asking
Exactly.
questions about differences is bad.
That's how you're
So then
teaching them,
yeah, and so then that kid just thinks, "Oh, so this means this isn't good for me, or I should stay away from these people."
as
You
if
didn't
like
teach
you're a lion.
Yeah, and so it's like, have this conversation, and then if you need to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, this I need to have this conversation with my child," do it and be embarrassed.
Yeah.
And let it be messy and let your child know that, hey, I may not have all the answers, but this is what I know. Let's go home and find out.
Yeah. But what's more embarrassing,
So
having that conversation in the middle of the store, or
exactly.
10, 15 years down the line being like, oh, that's my son and he just committed this heinous crime?
Yep,
What's more embarrassing?
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm really teaching kids now is they need to learn to ask questions and be okay with asking questions. And there will be people in their life that will allow them to be able to ask those questions. They also need to know that their feelings are, their feelings are real and they shouldn't be, condemned.
Yeah.
If you're feeling frustrated, you need to be able to say that. Whether you're saying it to yourself, admit it to yourself first, and then find out who you could actually talk to that will be able to help you navigate through that emotion.
Yeah.
Instead of like, don't cry, don't be angry. That's not the way we handle this situation. No,
Suck it up, be a man.
Yeah.
Whatever that
Well,
means.
this is why children act out in other ways, because their emotions were pushed down in one area. Well, now it's going to come out in another area, just like adults.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're fine, but we go home and yelling at our family. Not their problem.
No, that energy
The
goes
problem
somewhere.
was at work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said that you like using music as your favorite medium with connecting with your audience. Do
Yep.
you think music can act as a medium for processing things like emotions, trauma, and grief? What's your take on that?
Yes. I have a playlist for every emotion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I think kids are really they're able to relate to music a whole lot more than just, actually expressing how they feel, verbally, like, hey, what song reminds you of how you're feeling right now?
Me personally?
No, I'm just saying this is what I ask kids sometimes. Like, what's the song for today that's like the story of your life today? What song is it? And it's amazing.
Yeah.
And then, when we were growing up, our parents always had that artist that they didn't like.
Yeah.
And really, they never studied that artist to find out why they sing the way they do. What's the story behind their music?
Yeah.
Because I've even watched it myself as a 48-year-old driving down the street, listening to Billie Eilish. Like, what is this? Find out, oh my goodness, this woman has a story. And then the more I would study her, the more I appreciated her music.
Yeah.
The more I realized, man, she has great control of her voice and the way that she can deliver a song so softly but penetrate to your very soul, right? And it's just like, oh, if when I study and I educate myself, I'm not making those flippant comments.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, kids just listen to anything these days. No, well, what's the emotion behind it? So can you use music to talk about emotions? Can families come together and say, hey, this is how you're feeling? It reminds me of this song. Let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because every family has that child that won't talk. I have two. I have a child with a disability.
Mm-hmm.
He has autism, but he's more on the severe end, and he's nonverbal.
Okay.
So he doesn't have the ability to talk to me. So we use music as a way of our communication. So if he's happy, I know by his jumping and the way he moves his hands that he's really happy about something. And then I'll start talking about his day. If he's really frustrated, we'll go, do you want to listen to meditation music? Do you want to listen to spa music? And I'll just try to choose a song. And then he'll just kind of let me know through his body movements what he really wants at that time.
Wow.
My daughter has the ability to talk to me, but she won't say anything.
Oh.
So we just got to turn on the tunes and just sit there and just kind of joke around a little bit, and then I'll start hearing about her day.
Yeah. So it's not a way of life. It is your life.
It is my life. Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Obviously, the strong woman that you are. No, but that's that takes it to the next level for real. And it's almost as if your calling was only meant for you.
I feel like everyone has their own unique gift, and this is me. I love bringing happiness, and music lifts our spirits. Whether we're listening to sad music that expresses how angry we are, it's still lifting us up. Like somebody gets it, somebody understands me.
We're not alone.
someone was going through this very same thing. That's why they wrote these lyrics. This is why they delivered the song with such power, because they understand where I'm coming from as well. And so, yeah, that's why I love all types of music. So I love hip hop, but I also love Jesse Cook. And my playlist is so like it's
Diverse.
just like a melting pot of like emotions and culture, and yeah, it's amazing.
It's a blend, and it creates something new too. It's like it's never the same.
Yeah,
Every day can be different.
so true.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Okay, Saidat, that is the conclusion of the third segment. Moving into our fourth one of the day, the wheel challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's supposed to be a song. In the wheel challenge, I'm going to be spinning this wheel behind me, and whatever task pops up is what you're going to do, essentially. I'll go ahead and explain it to you depending on what shows up. Cool?
Alrighty.
All right. Would you look at that? It's drawing blindfolded. Okay. So in this game, what we're going to do is you've got your pen and your paper handy.
Yeah.
So instead of actually being blindfolded, you're just going to not look down. You're going to look at me or up. And you've got
Okay.
10 seconds to draw a simple item that I'll be telling you.
Okay.
Cool?
Yep.
All right. So the first item is a smiley happy face emoji.
All right. Looking at you.
Nice. 5 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. Let's see it. Angry sound guy, what you think? All right. That's one.
Let me look.
1 for 1 so far.
It's my hairstyle today.
The waves. Your next object to draw is a maple leaf.
Wait.
It's 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Time.
Oh God.
I'm excited
wow.
to see this. Oh, what you think? Hey, he gives it to you. He gives it to you. That's
Really?
2 for 2. That's 2 for 2. Okay, last one.
Okay.
This one could be hit or miss. Let's see. Treble clef. 5 seconds. 2, 1, time.
Wow.
Dollar bills.
I know. I'm like, wait, that's not right. I'm like,
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
oh,
Very good. Very good. So now there's only one way to describe that last segment, and it is a wheel challenge. But next up, we've got our very, very last segment of the show. But we're gonna
With the sound effects, with the mouth.
What you
sound
said?
effects? Are you trying to take my job away from me, man?
maybe if you did your job a little bit better. Thank you for timing in. But now we're gonna go back to the programmed show. Thank you. Our final segment of the show today is Clear the Air.
Woo.
It's always so freaky. I'm not too sure I want to proceed with this segment, but we don't have a choice. What we're going to do here is I'm going to ask you to be honest about challenges that are common within the industry. Essentially, we want to
Okay.
help others become better and avoid unnecessary hurdles because ain't nobody got time for that.
That's right.
Cool. So above boosting one's confidence, you encourage good physical and mental health. How do the
Yes.
two tie together with music and entertainment?
Well, when you feel good, you're going to want to move. You want to move forward in your thinking, you move forward physically to make sure that you're strong enough to be able to handle the things that come your way. So music is the motivator.
Okay. Interesting.
And Like I don't want to get up and go for a walk in the morning without music.
Right. So it's
So
almost
it's
almost like a crutch that you use to like help catapult you
yeah,
to greatness.
yeah. Even studying, I personally need music to study. Or I move. I'm always tapping or my leg is
Right.
moving, and but it helps me think.
Right. Right.
And so like rhythm, music, it's always driving us forward, I feel. So
So it helps
and so
stimulate.
yeah, and when you're moving forward, you're feeling like you're accomplishing something. So that enhances your mindset and your mental well-being.
I really like your point on, or the way you describe how moving helps you feel like you're doing things, like you're accomplishing. And it's very it's
Yeah,
very true because you can be lying in bed and your alarm goes off and you can hit that snooze button and you know you're not moving anywhere. But if you
yep,
just I'm getting up and like almost fall out of bed,
yep,
your day is going to start. You're just going
yep.
to start doing things and yeah. So movement does very much coincide with motivation and action and completing things.
Yeah. And music helps, right? So
Yes.
music can be like your coach in a sense. Like, get up, let's go.
No word of a lie. I have
Yeah,
not, well, maybe a couple of playlists here and there that if I need to get things done, that's what I'm going to be listening to because it's
yeah,
almost a sense of positive affirmations, if you will. It's not me
yeah,
saying it to me, but that's what's going into my head. And it's part of your diet. You're not
yeah,
only consuming food, you're consuming information.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. How have you mastered the arts of the Saidat show?
Trial and error.
Mm. It's a painful process, hey?
Oh my goodness. Well, I've been doing this for 15 years.
Yeah.
And the first year I was told, "Oh my goodness, this is such an incredible show. You're going to be so busy." For the next 3 years, I sat at home on my phone. "Hi, my name is Saidat. I have a show." What? Who? First of all, what's my name?
Yeah.
Second, it's the secretary answering the phone and they're busy. Like, do they really have time to listen to me explain what the Saidat show is? It's so it was such it was it was trial, error, pain, joy, pain, sunshine, rain, all of it.
All of it. It's true.
Yeah. But I don't think I valued what I had for a very long time because I was just so busy just trying to be busy.
Oh,
And in this industry, we pride ourselves on being busy.
right.
"Oh, I have another gig. Oh, it's don't look at me. I'm all over the country. Everybody wants me."
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you may not even know why you're doing what you're doing. Why are you going to this town, and this town? And what did it accomplish? Did you have a plan? Or are you just trying to be busy so it looks good to everyone else?
Interesting.
Right?
People veer off their
So
purpose.
yeah, so for a while, I was known as the hip hop girl, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that's not all I was to that particular program.
Right.
So I would only get like the principals who were like, "Hey, this is going to be fun for my kids." And then I became the anti-bullying speaker. So I was put in that box, and I allowed myself to only be put in this box of anti-bullying speaker. Well, when the lingo changed for anti-bullying, I wasn't getting as many schools because they were like, "Oh, that's not how we approach this. That has like a negative tone to it. It's bullying prevention or conflict resolution."
Yeah.
But I was still in this anti-bullying box, right?
Yeah.
And then I was Black History Month speaker.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? And so then you allow the world to put you in a box that they want to put you in, and then you stay busy in that when you don't really know what your real purpose is. So I had to sit down and go, who is Saidat and what is the Saidat show?
mhm.
Is it hip hop? Well, I have hip hop, but that's not that's not who I am or what I'm trying to bring. There are so many wonderful people that can do that job a whole lot better than I can. I'm not the anti-bullying speaker because I'm talking to kids about how to be kind to each other. I'm not really giving you all these statistics and heavy messages about bullying.
Yeah.
So what am I? So I finally sat down with myself and decided who I am.
Yeah.
I am a children's entertainer who uses music, dance, and drama to convey a message that one person can make a difference. Together, we can change the world. And the only way we can do the only way we can do that is through emotional well-being. And when you feel good about you, you're going to help someone else feel good. And so I started presenting myself like that. I'm a children's entertainer. Oh, okay.
And it
I'm
goes a
not
long
trying
way.
to,
It really
yeah, and I'm
does.
not trying to reach everyone. I'm trying to reach the children.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to reach the children with love, with high energy. That's my personality. I love bringing happiness, and I don't have to be ashamed of that. And then once I owned who I am, other people were able to see it too.
How do you ensure that the children you perform to take away at least a piece of your message?
Well, our show, I every 5 to 10 minutes, we repeat what we're saying. Like this year's show for the grades 4 through 8 was called "This Is How We Win," and the word of the hour was adversity. So by the time the kids left, they knew what adversity meant. What's adversity? Difficulties, challenges, setbacks, losses. And it was a word that they weren't using at all, but now they could hear it throughout the day. Like, oh wait, that's adversity.
Yeah.
Oh, when I'm frustrated about this test that I just failed and I thought I studied my butt off, but now I got to go try again. Oh, that's adversity. Oh, when something doesn't go my way, how can I deal with adversity? So I like being repetitive, and then the
Drill it in.
movement, and then the hip hop classes teaches them that you may not know how to do something at the beginning, but step by step you're going to get there, and that gives them that growth mindset. You don't have it yet, but when you continue to try, you are going to make progress. And doesn't make perfection, but it makes progress. And so seeing like a group of 2 to 300 kids or 500 kids at a time and saying, we're all going to learn this dance in less than 10 minutes, and then watching it happen is incredible and a boost of confidence for them as well.
How do you ensure that everyone feels included when you're dealing with 2 to 500 kids?
Yep. Well, it's when I bring them together, I try to get them to work with their classes and like as a class, because that's who they're communicating with for most of the day, are those 20 to 30 kids in that group.
Right.
So they sit with their class. The show is interactive. They learn the dance together as a large group. And then at the end, we have that dance party. So that's when I'm able to kind of go to the various groups of kids and kind of hang out with them and dance with them and see how they're doing. And so that's how I connect.
Yeah.
I connect with them, and I
Yeah.
feel like we do a pretty good job.
I think you do too.
Yeah. Thank you.
You mentioned earlier what goes into the Saidat show, but are there aspects on where you can expand, perhaps in the future? Is that something you're considering?
Yes. Well, right now I'm working on learning to become a virtual presenter, because, as we know, assemblies won't look
Yeah.
the way they did before. I won't have 2 to 500 kids in a room anymore, not for a while. That
Yeah.
is.
Times are changing.
Yeah. So
Have
I'm learning
changed.
how to bring that energy to the screen, and it's a learning curve for
It's
me.
different, hey?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, am I looking at you on the screen or am I looking the camera in the eye? Like, what's going on here? Yeah.
Exactly. And you can kind of feel what your audience, you kind of get that sense of what they're feeling, or how they're enjoying or not enjoying the show. Where in the screen, there's so many distractions. You don't know, when you look up, I'm going, "Oh, Louis, are you okay? Is everything
Yep.
fine?"
Yep.
Right? Where in an assembly, you kind of know what's happening, right? So I'm learning. So I'm taking this time to just sit back and go, how can I improve? What can I do? I'm going to be a certified virtual presenter.
That's
And
cool.
yeah, it'd be pretty cool. And
That's very cool.
yeah. So
Okay.
I don't know what's next, but it's going to be better.
We're moving forward. I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. Before you move forward, I want to know, do you have any personal struggles with mental health that you've had to deal with? And if you did, how did you deal with them so that you can move forward?
Ooh. Um, when I talked about bullying, I said that I didn't have many experiences with someone bullying me. I was my biggest bully.
Which is a real thing.
Yeah. So I was constantly telling myself, you can't do that. You're not good enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not this. You're not that. And I had to learn to overcome my inner bully in a sense. And with the same things, ask for help. Not believing in who I am required me reaching out and saying, I don't feel good about myself.
Mhm.
How do I overcome this? I can't get rid of these negative thoughts in my head. How do I do this? And it took a lot of studying. It took a lot of reaching out, um, and just admitting to myself that I needed somebody else to help me.
Yeah. You have
Yeah,
you put yourself in a very vulnerable place when you do these kinds of things, but it comes
yeah,
with a beautiful reward afterwards. And
sure.
and that's really up to the individual because no one can do it for you, you know? You can tell
No,
them as much as you want, but like it's on you.
yeah,
Yep.
sure.
How do you or how would you encourage others to deal with situations like that?
Ooh, that's a heavy question.
I like to use
Um,
affirmations personally. I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
but everyone has their take on it. Some people, and I believe it's just personalities and experiences. So you need to find what works for you, but you need to find what works for you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like everyone has their way of dealing with their emotional and mental well-being, but you can't do nothing.
You
You
can't.
can't just sit around and go, well, it's going to go away. No, it's not going to go away.
Never ever
You're
like that.
not just going to magically feel better. You're going to have moments when you feel like, hey, everything's fine, but eventually you're back to where you started. So you need to find out. So you need to research. You need to ask a friend or ask someone that knows where you can go to get help.
Yep.
And then once you start moving, like we've been talking about, moving forward, you're going to find what works for you.
That's the truth.
So,
Yep. You can only discover it once you start trying.
yep.
Yep.
Aw.
Fantastic job. All right, Saidat, that brings us to the very end of this episode. Do you have any final words you'd like to share with us?
I want everyone listening to this to know that you have purpose, you have meaning, and I want you to move forward and find that because you are valued, you are needed, you are loved. So go out and make a difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Beautiful. Do you have somewhere that the listeners can find you?
Yes. So my name is spelled like the word said and the word at together. So said at, but the pronunciation is Saidat. You can find me on Facebook on my Saidat fan page. You can find me on YouTube at the Saidat Show. You can find me on Instagram at the Saidat Show, and Twitter is Saidat with the number 2 motivate. Saidat 2 motivate.
Awesome. And I will make sure to include all of that in the show notes for all of our
Yes.
listeners.
And I'm on Spotify.
Spotify, TikTok
Yes, TikTok as
well. Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. Next, I want to say thank you to the listeners because without you, we've got no show. You know that's the truth. Shout out to Prevail
Right.
Media Group because we've got this awesome venue and an awesome team that helped put this show together. Shout out to our angry sound guy because, I mean, sometimes he makes us laugh and that's why we keep him around. But mostly, of course, thank you so much, Saidat, for being awesome, for being you, and for being here with us. We do very much appreciate that.
Thank you so much for having me.
Beautiful,
You're
beautiful.
awesome.
We out.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, then follow us on Instagram at go.produce. Check out our show notes, support us on Patreon, and help us grow this community. All of this and more can be found on our website at goproduce.ca. I am Big Lou, and I want to make sure that until next time, you go produce.